National TV news producer, and this is what you need to know about President Trump's first day in office and the huge amount of executive actions that just came into place. Before we start, I want to be clear, this is unbiased, this is all straight facts. The executive actions are ranging from everything with immigration, which were the most at least immediate impactful ones, all the way to federal workers and TikTok. But one of the most defining moments of yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order redefining birthright citizenship. So to be clear, despite some of the information that's been floating around, this is not retroactive. If you are a citizen, you will keep your citizenship whether or not your parents were born in the country. With that being said, this does apply to children who are born 30 days after the order was put in place, and this is who it impacts. It covers children who are born on U.S. soil, but to parents who are either unlawfully in the country or in situations where the mom is on a temporary visa in the U.S. and the father isn't a citizen. It's very important to note that this will definitely likely get challenged and make its way all the way up to the Supreme Court. And it's also important to note that the 14th Amendment in the Constitution protects birthright citizenship. And even before the ratification of the 14th Amendment in, I believe, 1868, there was a federal law passed by Congress basically protecting and establishing birthright citizenship. So another executive order that was signed was one designating two major cartel groups as terrorist organizations. And the importance of this one is it could enable American military force on Mexican soil. He also shut down the CBP One app. So this is an app that migrants who are coming to the States can use to set up their asylum appointments. It wasn't perfect. There were a lot of technical issues with it, but I believe since January 2023, there were 1 million people, or it's estimated at least 1 million people, had used this app. He also signed an executive order declaring a national emergency at the southern border. And there were actually even more immigration orders that was signed. That would have to be a whole nother video, but those are probably some of the more impactful and important ones at the moment. Okay, another big one, at least on this app, was he also paused the TikTok ban. So it's important to note that the bipartisan divest or ban law for TikTok was passed by Congress in April. It was signed into law by President Biden. We know it recently made it to the Supreme Court, who ended up upholding the ban. It's also important to note that in his last term in office, President Trump actually sought to ban TikTok, but that was blocked by the courts then. So the pause is only for 75 days. Until his administration, quote, determines how to move forward with the app while protecting national security and avoiding an abrupt shutdown. Okay, another one getting a lot of attention today is, this is an executive action, is pardoning the January 6th defendants. So over 1,000 people were pardoned, and of the pardons includes people who committed violent acts towards Capitol Police officers as well. So of those 14 who had their sentences commuted, it included members of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, some of who were charged with seditious conspiracy. So a lot of people don't know what seditious conspiracy is. It's a rare Civil War era law that was basically enacted for Southerners who might fight against the U.S. government. So the basis for charging these people in the January 6 cases was that they were accused of essentially conspiring to overthrow, put down, or to destroy with force the U.S. government. Okay, I'm going to tick through a couple of more that I think are really important. There was also one targeting inflation. President Trump ordered the heads of all executive departments and agencies to basically find a way to deliver emergency price relief to the American people and increase prosperity for the American worker. For federal workers, you have to go back to the office. That was another executive order he signed, and he also signed a freeze on all federal hiring. That does not include the military and some other categories. So he also signed executive orders removing us from the Paris Climate Accord and the World Health Organization. He had removed us from the Paris Climate Accord in his last term, and also in his last term, he attempted to remove us from the World Health Organization. And this is last for this video, not last of all the orders, but definitely not least. He rolled back nearly 80 former President Biden era executive actions. I mean, those go from everything from the price of prescription drugs to some diversity and equity policies. I would have to do a whole nother video like breaking that one down. But these are some of the most important and impactful executive orders that were signed the other day. If you want me to make a video breaking down all of them, it would take me so long. I do want to also make it really clear that while the president did sign in a lot of executive orders and did a lot of executive actions yesterday, he does hold a slim majority, or his party, the Republican Party holds a slim majority in both the House and the Senate. So this was actually discussed today, but what the real challenge will be for President Trump and the Republican Party in the coming months is passing legislation with such a small majority in the House and the Senate. And also with actions like the birthright citizenship thing, we're already seeing legal challenges against it. So again, it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. It's important to stick to the facts, guys.